In today's episode, we're talking about a very important concept: living before you die. Let's find out why. Money Mindset with Gul Khan podcast will help you to break free from your limiting beliefs, reverse your money shame, and blast through your money blocks so that you can live a life of unlimited abundance. In this podcast, we will talk about energy tools and mindset strategies that will help you to understand and change your relationship with money, whether you're in a job, profession, or working on your passion. Change your relationship with money to change your life. I'm your host, Gul Khan. Let's get started. Welcome. This is Gul Khan, your money mindset expert. And today we're talking about a topic. This is usually a Friday feature segment, but what happened over the course of the last few weeks, actually, and it got me thinking. And something recently happened for a couple of celebrities that's just come to light. And it made me realize that we don't really talk about death as much. And I want you to not go morbid on me. I'm not going morbid on you. I'm not going to, I'm not talking about something sad, but I do actually want you to recognize that this life isn't for infinity. You're not going to be living forever, and you do need to live. And this part of this message has also come about from when I've been talking about financial planning, about pensions and other things. And I talk about that in my private circle. I'm not a financial expert, so I'm not able to give advice, financial advice, which I don't, but I do recommend people around me to speak to financial advice and so forth. So various things have led me to the path where I was thinking about my own mortality and about dying and making sure everything's sorted out for my kids when the time comes for me to leave. But it got me thinking, and this is why this episode was born, that so many of us are doing a 9-to-5 grind or all building up businesses and doing these our passion business, which I encourage. Now, this episode is not to say that I don't want you to live. If anything, it's to encourage you to live. But the average person is so busy in the rat race, and that's 95% of the people. Now, if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably part of the 5% of the population who's living their lives or is about to live their life according to the terms, who's doing something about it. You wouldn't be listening to this podcast if you weren't interested in changing your life and changing your mindset. And so a lot of the people, they just exist, they don't live, and they keep putting things on hold. Now, 2 deaths, literally 2 young people have died recently that's been brought to my attention. And I don't know them personally. I have to say, I don't know either of these gentlemen personally. I just know them through family, friends, and somebody's friends and whatever. And because of the sudden deaths, it sort of shocked through the community. And I'm going to talk about both of them. So one individual is a 40-year-old person he's very successful. He did really, really well in his personal life career-wise, but he wasn't married. He wasn't, I think, as far as I know, in a relationship at present, and he didn't have any children. He's survived by his mother and his 2 sisters, and all the money that he's made will be passed on to obviously his immediate family, which will be his sisters and his mother. But he himself, I feel, from what I've understood and heard about his life, is he didn't live. Yes, I want you to make money. Hell yeah, absolutely. But you have to live. And his death was very sudden, really sudden. It was just a massive heart attack. And before they arrived to the hospital, he was pronounced dead. And I heard this news, and literally within 2 days, I heard news of someone else in another city, another young gentleman, this time a 35-year-old, from what I understand, who was married. And I think he has 1 or 2 young children. But again, he was working, and all of a sudden, massive heart attack. And before he arrived at the hospital, he was pronounced dead. Now, what these deaths have brought home to me, and especially the one who's 40, because I think he's my age, it made me realize how fragile life is. And yes, we want to achieve X, Y, and Z, and there's nothing. I don't want you to think for a second that I'm telling you to just go give up on your dreams and forget about achieving X, Y, and Z, and just, go and, spend all time doing X, Y, Z. The reason why I'm recording this episode is for you to remind you that whatever you are doing, keep the bigger picture, in mind, that you do only have a certain number of years on this planet. And I needed to be reminded of myself. I've been spending a lot of time with family and a lot of time with my kids. And I remember thinking, oh, great, they go to school next week and I can go back to doing, my work and, away from it. And when this incident happened, I promise you, I felt so grateful for the last 6-8 weeks that I've spent with my children and my family. And the time we spent and the things we've done, laughs and giggles and fights and whatever have you, and all the things that we've been doing, I'm so grateful for, because I've been living. I've actually been living. And now here's the thing. Because of my success, because I've been successful, I was able to, one, have a home where I can invite all my family. There's more than enough space for me to, happily include everybody and not be on each other's toes. And we didn't make each other comfortable. People can come and stay with me for as long as they needed because I had the space in my home. I had the money to be able to take them out and do all the activities I wanted to do. And with my children as well, I could get them and buy them the things they wanted to make them happy. My kids aren't spendthrifts. They're not spoiled at all by any means, by any standards. They're not. But what they desired and they wanted to go out and, taking them out for breakfast or late lunch or something, I was able to do that because I had the money. Now, there was a time not long ago when I didn't have the means to do that. So it just really brought me home that you want to be building your dreams, and that's exactly what you should be doing. If I didn't build my businesses, if I didn't change my mindset, if I didn't work on my business, I would not be in the financial position to provide all that to my children, to give them the kind of life of luxury that they have and be able to give them all the things that I want them to give. But at the same time, having my own business gave me the time freedom to be able to take literally 6 to 8 weeks out. I did very little work on my actual business, and most of it came to a standstill because I spent that time with family. I spent that time with my kids, and we laughed and giggled, and we watched lots of movies, and obviously got through the arguments because my daughter wants to watch a rom-com and my son wants to watch an action movie, and I'm here be able to watch both. I don't even care which way we watch. I'm happy to watch, but. It was good to be able to have those moments to be piggy in the middle and figure out which one are we going to go and sort of, be the empire while they're trying to decide on what movie to watch. Those are the little luxuries that I'm able to have. And I was grateful for being able to have that choice. And that made me realize that I'm actually living. So I'm building a business. I'm creating the kind of life that I want for myself, but I'm not losing sight of living in the process. And when I thought, oh, my kids are great, they're going to go back to school, I stopped myself thinking, no, yes, it's great they're going back to school and I'm able to dedicate my time to my business again. But keeping the balance is very, very important. And already I'm starting planning, okay, what we're going to do in October half term, what we're going to do for December. And obviously it won't be much because my Ian has exams to do. But okay, so what about April? What about next summer? And I'm already planning things around for my kids because I want to live. Now, this isn't to show how brilliant I am and how much money I make and, oh God, nothing of the sort. It's to prove that you can make your dreams. But at the same time, when you're in the process of making your dreams, don't lose sight of living. What I've come across is so many people work so hard to become workaholics. And one particular person comes to my mind. Now, this individual I truly respect, as somebody that I do look up to in terms of his business acumen and his strength of character and his determination and his integrity and his honesty. But when I look upon him, I see a man who's just driven by business. He doesn't have much time for his social life or personal life. And in all honesty, I find him very cold and very rigid. Personally, I wouldn't be friends with this individual. But as a mentor, as somebody to learn from, hell yeah. So that's the person that came to my mind when I was thinking of these individuals, because I'm sure he's not 40 yet. I think he's in the mid-30s. So, and their life does not come with guarantees. There is absolutely no guarantee you're going to see tomorrow. There's absolutely no guarantee you're going to see the next hour or so. Doesn't matter how old you are. This time guarantee is given to no one, including children. So what you want to do is spend as much time as you possibly can living. Now, that doesn't mean you sit on the TV, on the sofa watching Netflix all day long. Hell no. But this does mean that if you are in a 9 to 5 grind and all you're doing is 9 to 5 and you're spending that one day in the future, you're going to spend that time with your kids, or one day in the future, you're going to build the business of your dreams. One day in the future, you're going to live your life of your dreams. That one day is never going to come. That one day is not going to come unless you plan for it to happen. And how do you plan? So if you are running a business, great. You need to absolutely block out time for your family, for your loved ones, for whoever is who's close to you, to be able to live that life. If you are in a 9 to 5 grind, and it doesn't matter what kind of money you make, if you're a 9 to 5 grind, you're stuck in the rat race. If you want to build a business and you want to have a life of freedom, then you need to make a plan and hold yourself accountable to that, and go ahead and do that, and make your life so that you have a way out, you have a way forward, you have a way to start living the life of your dreams, even if it's one step at a time, and it's a distant something that will happen over a year's time or 2 years' time. It doesn't really matter. But as long as you start the process, eventually you'll come out of the 9 to 5 grind. You'll start building a business. Now, why do I bring this up? Because I know most of the business people who listen to this podcast are either ex-corporate employees or people who are currently in the corporate high positions, corporate executives who are earning either 6 figures or multiple 6 figures. So you're in quite senior corporate positions and you want to transition out from there into your own businesses. This is a message for you. Because I've been there in the corporate world, and when you earn, 6 figures or multiple 6 figures in corporate careers, you literally have signed over your life to your company, to whoever you're working for. Then you have very little time available for your family, for yourself, and for your dreams. And if you want to live a life of your dreams, you have to plan for it. And every time you think, oh, I haven't got the time, you really don't have the time. You can't afford not to do it, because there is a time limit on how long you're going to be on the planet. And there's a time limit of how much time you have, even as a youth. Old age creeps up on you very, very quickly, so I hear. And at the same time, even if old age doesn't catch up with you, your mortality will. I mean, this 35-year-old, this 40-year-old, they didn't know they're going to have a massive heart attack and pop off the planet. I usually joke around to people around me saying that, I'm going to stop doing that, by the way, to say, we've got a very strong history of heart attacks in my family, so I'm quite happy about it, and one day I'll just pop off. And I realized, I used to say it's a joke, but I need to stop saying that, because I don't want to die quickly. I want to be able to see my children graduate and get married and have kids, and I want to see a couple of grandchildren before I pop off the planet. So I need to start taking my life seriously, and I want to make sure that every day that I live from now onwards matters. Now, that means I will work harder? Hell yeah. Am I going to build my business even faster? Hell yeah. But does that mean that I'm going to purposely take time out to spend that quality time with my kids? Hell yeah. Because my kids are what driving me. What my kids' future and their happiness is what drives me every single day. And if I'm not there to enjoy that time with them, what's the purpose of me living? And I want you to dig deep into your heart and find out, what is it that drives you? What is it that makes you happy? What is it that makes you feel like you're alive? And then do that every single day. And if you're not able to do it every single day, then plan for it. I'm not able to spend that kind of quality time with my kids every single day. They have the school studies and I have my business, but we do regularly actually spend a lot of time in their holidays, because they go to private schools, they get extra time off school anyway. And during their school time, when they're off from school, I make sure that my work is limited and most of my time is spent with them, either going for brunches or day outs or just chilling on the sofa watching Netflix or whatever. I spend that quality time with them, having conversations, having laughs and giggles, because that's important, because that makes me feel like I'm living. If all I was doing was building my business, irrespective of how much I enjoy, and I really enjoy my coaching practice, by the way, so I really feel alive when I'm coaching as well. This is probably the reason why, I spend so much time on my coaching practice, even though it brings me the least amount of money, because I love what I do and I love talking to people and I love the difference it makes in people's lives, and I see the transformations that people come, sort of report to me and talk to me about. That's why I do it. But at the same time, nothing beats the time that I spend with my kids, because that really makes me feel alive. So the purpose of today's episode was just to give you a reminder that it doesn't matter what you're doing, what business you're building, what career you're building. Take a time out and realize that life is not endless, and you can never guarantee even tomorrow. So make sure that every single day counts, and you do plan to spend time with those you love, and make sure that you do feel alive and you are living. Don't just exist for tomorrow. Don't just exist for your business. Don't just exist for your career. Live your life to the fullest. And that does mean, yes, you work 10 times harder on your business, 10 times harder on your career, but you also spend 10 times more time with your children, your loved ones, your family, your friends, so that you feel alive and you really feel when it's your time that you've lived before you died. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. I'll see you in the next one. Take care and bye for now. If you want to learn more about my energy tools and mindset strategies, then please visit my website www.gulkhan.com. And if you want to take part in our 5-day abundance mindset makeover workshop, where I deep dive into energy tools for abundance, then please go to www.abundancemindsetmakeover.com and register. I look forward to being your mentor in the next workshop. And if you want to learn about the spiritual laws of money, then go and get my book, Laws of Money, from www.lawsofmoney.com. Until the next time we meet, this is Gul Khan signing off. Take care and bye for now.